Hi, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. Mr. Cross here to talk to you more about science. Yesterday, we started talking about shade and what shade provides for us, and we talked about shade structures. Now, to talk about this, we have to understand what we learned last week about the sun, that the sun gives us heat and light. So, yesterday, we talked about how the shade would keep us cool from the sun. It would give us different types of protection against the light and the heat, okay? So I'm going to show you our chart from yesterday, our shade structure. It blocks out the sun's light and the sun's heat, okay? So we're going to look now, well, what does that give us? Well, a shade structure gives us shade. It's a structure for shade. So we're going to talk about what is shade, okay? So I'm going to have you follow along. I have this colorful book for you, and it's called What is Shade? This is such a beautiful picture. If you look at this picture, you can see the sun shining, and look around at the bottom. There's grass right here. It's green, but you can't see green grass up here. Is it not there? Or is it just blocked because of the beautiful trees? It's providing us different things right here. So it's cooler in the shade. If you've ever gone to a beach or different things, there's less sun, it's less light directly on you. You might be able to relax a little bit more if you're in the shade. So temperature-wise, it's actually cooler, even though you're still outside, but that shade makes it colder. Look at these cool birds. Animals can make shadows too. Look at those beautiful shadows from those birds. When something blocks out the sun's light, we get heat, we get shade when the light is being blocked. That umbrella at a beach, great way for you to be able to sit right here in the shaded area so that you aren't getting direct heat and light. One thing you might have noticed is if you're ever outside with an umbrella, like for example at the beach, when you get there in the morning, you put your umbrella up, but by lunchtime, where you're sitting is no longer in the shade. You actually have to move your chair and move it. The umbrella doesn't change, but the shade changes because the sun moves during the day. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So during the day, the sun moves, which changes your shade structure. So you have to move to stay in the shade throughout the day. When we make shade, it is called a shadow. You create shade if you make a shadow. We're going to be talking about making shadows this week too. In this picture, you can see this person is right here making a shadow. It looks like this person might be standing by a fence maybe, and this is a shadow of a fence, or maybe a playground, some monkey bars. You can kind of make out little lines that there could be the shadow of some monkey bars on a playground. Do you see shade? Look at that forest. You could see lots of light shining through, and that sun's hitting it exactly the same way, but the way those trees and leaves and branches are, it shows something different. So cool. All right, boys and girls, I want you to find this book that says, what is a shade structure? So go ahead and find this book, and I want you to grab a pencil, okay? So the first thing we do is always the same. We pick up our pencil and we write our name. Very good. So this is What is a Shade Structure by Mrs. DeCrose. And I have a picture of a sun. All right, let's open it up. All right, what we're going to do is I read, then you read, okay? So I'm going to read it first, then we can read it together. A shade structure blocks out the sun's light and heat. Your turn. A shade structure blocks out the sun's light and heat. Here's a picture of a structure. Looks like a bench and you could sit under it. Interesting. Did you know that clouds could give us shade? Have you ever noticed when the clouds are out, it doesn't seem as hot and it's not as bright out? Clouds. That's really cool. All right, listen as I read. Clouds can give us shade. Your turn. Clouds can give us shade. Nice job. All right, go and turn. Ooh, here we go. I read first. Umbrellas can give us shade. Your turn. Umbrellas can give us shade. My turn. Trees can give us shade. Your turn. Trees can give us shade. Hats can give us shade. Your turn. Hats can give us shade. My turn. Shade makes us feel cooler. Your turn. Shade makes us feel cooler. Nice job, boys and girls. I know that in the summertime when I sit at my house and I sit outside, I notice my house, like when I'm inside the house that faces the sun in the afternoon, is hot. And it's because of that sun. It's just coming through the windows. Even if I'm in the house, you can feel the sun giving off heat. And I bet even today, even though it's December, if you were to stand inside your house and you see where the light is coming in, it makes it brighter, you will feel warmer in that spot. I want you to go find a spot like that today and see, do you actually feel warmer? Even though you're in the house, do you feel warmer from that sun? And your house is a great shade structure as well because it is keeping you so you're not getting as much light and as much heat. So what I want us to do is let's read this one more time together, and then I'm going to let you color. There is words and pictures on the back side, so you can't use markers because it'll go through, but you can use crayons or colored pencils. All right, here we go. What is a shade structure? A shade structure blocks out the sun's light and heat. Clouds can give us shade. Umbrellas can give us shade. Trees can give us shade. Hats can give us shade. Shade makes us feel cooler. Great job today, boys and girls. I will see you tomorrow.